As the wood smoke begins to fill the room, the damp chill from the mountain air is slowly overtaken by the warmth of a small fire crackling in the center of the floor. The room is small, made of dark wood, and full of Tuja people gathered to hear the Americans' questions. We huddle around the fire pit with smoke circling upward to blackened hunks of pork hanging from iron hooks. Cups of green tea circulate, and cigarettes are offered just as freely. A kitten finds something worth licking on the sole of my shoe. With the tear of gray light peering from the only window in the room, we squint our eyes as the smoke finds our faces. We smile, sip tea, puff on our cigarettes, and through all of this, begin a form of communion. My friend, Li Wei Chang, is my translator and colleague. We met 7 years ago at an International Family Forest Conference. Now, we are in a remote mountain village in northern Hubei, China, where I am the first white female most villagers have seen. On top of that, I'm 5'11". On the walk to this home, women come up to me, touch my arm, and with smiling bright eyes, squeeze my left hand with their left hand. This is the hand that leads straight to the heart. I have come to this village in Hubei because it is a place that has somehow managed to keep much of its culture intact. People still know how to grow their own food, cook amazing dishes, and hold people who know the land in high regard. I am from Arkansas, USA. Where I come from, I did not learn how to grow food. I did not learn how to cook. Most people do not know how to grow food and cook where I am from. I say all of this with a sudden embarrassment in my attempt for simple, clear communication. There is no time for whitewashing American culture or going into complicated sociological and political explanations. It doesn't occur to me to explain that Arkansas is actually an agricultural state, because this would force further translation complications. For instance, what is agriculture then, when the focus is on industrially grown commodities with little consideration for the soil and ecological economics of the place? Plain and simple, most of us are products of a severed connection with food, farming, and land, hence knowing who we are. Many of the people giggle when this is translated. The expressions give off an incredulousness that seems to say, how can that be true? That doesn't make any sense. And all there is to do is laugh a little. I asked the village leader if they have a problem with young people leaving the community for bigger cities. Yes, he says. Are you worried about this? I asked. Yes, but we know they will come back. Are you confident your village will be able to grow its own food in the future? Oh yes. What about the young people? If they have left the farming life, how will they know how to grow food when they return? They will remember. We will help them remember. You are rich, I say. You know so much of what we have lost. You have so much knowledge of how to look after your bodies and land. You are so rich. You have a wealth most of us have never known. Li Wei Chang tells me that he's worried this sentiment of young people returning is wishful thinking within the village. They have lived with abundance for so long in their fertile soil, healthy forests full of medicine, clean water and air, and a breathtaking landscape. Global problems and temptations are beginning to skirt the edges of this village. I realize there may be more in common with this pocket of 300 people at the whole of North America. In only 2 generations, most North Americans have lost the knowledge of how to grow food sustainably. The consequences of such a short break are presenting Herculean challenges to regain some sensibility in how we relate to the land, each other, and ourselves. We are now faced with the universal question, where will the next generation of farmers come from? Hands down, the most delicious meal in China is in the tiny kitchen of this Tuzhou home. We migrate from the smokehouse living room to a round table where 8 of us squeeze together on a squat wooden chair. A thick fabric circles the table. We gather the material onto our laps so that we may feel the warmth of coals burning in a small saucer at our feet. The family cooking for us fills the table with steaming dishes of roasted green chilies, tofu from their grist mill, homemade potato chips sprinkled with sugar cane, mouth-watering smoked pork, chicken with heaps of garlic and ginger in a bubbling broth, an unidentified tingling medicine dish, and rounds of more tea from the hillsides holding their homes. Through the steam, we toast each other, to making new friends, to good health and good soil. I have learned the word for delicious, and each time I say this, more food appears from the biofuel stove. This is a Thanksgiving like no other, in a room barely held by wooden walls, and a room full of people who know who they are and the land they are part of. Dizzy from the fellowship, food, and mountain tea, I am overcome with only what I can call agape, love for all with no expectation or strings attached, love in the present moment, acceptance for myself, and love for what each person brings to this little table swelling with good food. I want this moment to last forever, to ride this feeling like an ocean wave all the way back to Arkansas and stitch our land and communities back together. The toast I want to offer goes unspoken, but it is there, inside, along with the love for this moment. Do not make our mistakes, I want to say. Do not try to be like this. Do not try to be like us. Hold on to what you have. Your wealth is immeasurable. I do not say this. Instead, I lift my cup, delicious.